in. So yeah, welcome everybody to this week's pairing session. Do you now see the issue, or do you see my Slack?
I see the issue.
Awesome, that sounds great. So sweet. Picking up on what we've been working in the last pairing session, to give you a short introduction on this, Lee. There was an issue that I kind of encountered when I've been working on an enhancement in GitLab UI, and it had to do with importing dependencies in a dynamic way, which caused a lot of issues. So we ended up not doing so in GitLab UI, but the question remained like, why does importing dependencies in a dynamic manner just break so many things in our pipeline? There must be something going on. And so we just basically saw tons of aspects failing. So we kind of dived into this, and we figured one thing and already came up with quite of a fix. So the issue, where do I show this best? Hopefully, not quite. I'm looking for a deleted. Here we go. So we've been checking out of the communication between two view components, and it doesn't really matter what they're doing at this point in time, but we found that they are communicating during a query selector or in the mounted function, which is not quite what the view textbook says. But it is just some legacy stuff that was introduced there when we went from the transition from Hammer to Vue. So it's totally legit to do it like that when you're dealing with that, but we're not dealing with that anymore. And that was the actual, or at least not in this case anymore. But that was the actual issue that tripped our pipelines over. Was we've now been adding those dependencies in an async way. They came in later. Mounted would fire, the DOM would still be empty because the dependency wasn't there yet. We wouldn't find nothing, basically just an empty array, and those actions were kind of missing. So we've been introducing this eventHub and quite, going big on the over engineering path. And what this whole thing is about, hopefully I have it open in a second, will be, there was basically just one functionality we focused on in the last session. And that was in the users panel. So I'm logged in as root currently. In the users panel, whenever this will be coming up, you will have the option to block a user, and this will open up a model. And with the bug in place, this just never happened. Like the button was just that. So as we can see here, the eventHub is doing its job. It's all great. And I actually lied. I did one more commit this week. And what I did and what I figured was all of those actions in here, doesn't really matter what, they will actually open up a model. So I was able, and it does not make any sense to just refactor one of these to the eventHub and leave the query selector or the actual old school solution in place. So I managed to refactor even more of those.
Awesome.
So that was working out quite nicely, but I do have, I see two more issues before this MR can go out of draft mode. One being, I left a comment. That was a little harder to refactor than the other files, because first of all, the delete functionality works a little different because it has this extra check where you need to put in the name. We'll see how to deal with that. I'm not 100% sure yet. And all of those actions are living in their own view component, except of those who will include any kind of delete action. And there is like the shared delete action for this, and this is working a little different than the other components. So that is kind of the challenge here. If we make progress on this, that will make me really, really happy. And if there still be some time left, we have some missing aspects on this pipeline as well. We could look onto this if we would be keen on. But how do we feel about starting with the delete model?
Sounds good.
Sweet. Let me just spin this up and make it more and resync myself into this.
Could you pop the issue or the MR link in? Forgive me if you've already done it, just so I can.
No, not great point. Not yet.
Thank you very much.
Here you go.
Super, thank you.
So let me just get those side by side. Yeah, excellent. So yep. On the right, we'll now be seeing a totally refactored version of this, and the old one on the left. Like, this is going to be the shared delete action, but I assume that is most likely the only file we need to touch, because this component will just be imported by all the other delete components. So that should be good to go. So we'll definitely, what we want to end up having is get rid of the vbind, make this work with an event listener. And when I tried to solve this briefly, I had some issues with just giving it, basically throwing the right event and giving it the correct params. But we'll see how far we can take it.
Cool.
So yeah, let me just copy and paste this. So we'll be having another on-click method in here, and this will, probably screen. We can already comment this out. Yep, and it will screen about the missing import. This will now probably be living rather here, I'd say. Message HTML. That is a really good question. So in ban, for example, there's always a string in place that's called message HTML, and that will represent no ban. Does ban equals block? Doesn't really matter. It will represent this body text, and we definitely have body text for delete. I just destroyed it. Okay. If I would undo, we would see some body text in there. But when it comes to the delete actions, I'm not 100% sure where this is coming from yet, but it has to come somewhere.
It's a little bit odd the way we build it as in scripting code, isn't it? I'm looking at the ban, and no, I'm not. I'm looking at block. I'm guessing ban does the same thing.
Yeah.
Rather
they're all super similar.
Because wouldn't that normally be more part of the template rather than?
Yeah, it actually definitely would be. And yeah, as we can see, this is already marked as a to do. So I'm assuming this is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, some kind of legacy as well. Andrew, do you have any idea about why this was done this way back then?
No. but
Okay.
I guess
suspect you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like how else, because I'm starting to, it's taking me a minute to interpret what's going on, but we're passing this to, yeah, we're kind of broadcasting this almost, so to speak, to then be picked up by something else. So it's
Absolutely.
not like we're not sort of embedding the component as a child of this as such, are we?
No, not at this point. And I think it would be okay for this MR just to basically stay like that for now and deal with that in another session. So you know what, with the message HTML, let's not worry on this for too long now. Let's see if we can get it to work without the message HTML, and I'd be happy with that situation. And if that is the only thing blocking, then we can have a look on this. Looking at the ban over there, it might have just found a bug. Yeah, absolutely. So with deactivate, we're only having the on click, but what I just saw in ban, we are just having the on click method. We're not binding anything, but we're still having the computed method in place. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd say this thing can just be deleted without anything to it.
So that's in ban.
It definitely looks that way. Yep.
Yeah. Let's just double check if ban is still working, but then we'd be good.
Yeah, because we don't reference this modal attributes, do we?
Yeah. Dog food in question. So there is a difference between block and ban, correct? And
I have no idea.
well, there is a file for block and ban. Okay, let's assume this is working for now, and let's see if we can find an example, because it seems like I can only block users.
Maybe a user has to be reported before they can be banned.
Maybe something along those lines. But okay, let's stick with the delete problem, and we'll see how far we can take it. So yeah, usually I'd now check for the actual working example and then just copy and paste the title in there, but we shouldn't worry about this too much for now. Action cancel, action primary. This is where it starts to get interesting, because if I get this right, so with all the other components, those actions have been pretty straightforward. For deactivate, it's going to be deactivate in our constants file. Can I just open this like this? Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's going to be one of these. So that is easy. With delete, though, we're having two different actions, delete and delete with contributions. So since this is a shared thing, we will need to get this from the parent component. Only question that is open for me is, how do we get it from those? Model type, username, paths, delete paths, definitely something else. User deletion obstacles, no word about actions. Any ideas on this, folks?
Sorry, my connection was getting a bit unstable there.
worries. You muted in case you want to say something, Andrew.
What does user actions look like? What does that translations constant contain?
User actions. Where do you see that?
I18n underscore user underscore actions. Like what
there
is
we go.
that variable?
Here we are. That seems to me like basically a collection of all the actions that are possible to take on this.
Delete is probably the correct one then.
Well, it depends. So there's delete and delete with contributions, and we're having two different models for those. That's kind of the tricky part of this.
Okay.
So we need the parent component to tell us whether it's going to be delete or delete with contributions.
I see.
And it's currently not doing this.
Yeah, I see shared delete action passes in a modal type. What is that modal type?
Well, it's a string that says delete with contributions, and it might be exactly what we're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, it is exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So that's why we're doing this. Okay, awesome. So how do I access the prop in here? Is it just going to be this model type, just like that?
I don't know, because it's hyphenated in the way it's passed in. I think I'm not sure if it'll.
Yeah, but this will most likely camel case it. So I'm not too worried about the case.
I don't think the strings get transformed.
Yeah, it's the value that's hyphenated rather than the key, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you look back in the translations constant file or whatever, wherever you were a minute ago, see there, it's delete with contributions, it's camel case. But if you look in delete with contributions.view, it's
now I see. Okay.
I'm sure we must have a string helper for that, but
I'm super interested that this has been working before, obviously. But okay.
Unless you just want to change it here to use camel case as well. I don't know if that's okay or.
I was just about to suggest it. Any concerns on this?
I think you'll probably have to change it. No concerns, just that you might have to change it wherever the modal is loaded.
So it would be, so if I get you right, it would be just like that, right?
Bingo, yeah.
Well, delete was easy. Okay. So we're feeling confident about this line?
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's see about the current state of the model, and then we will most likely run into some issues. Ban user. Okay, interesting. But that's kind of the thing. What I will do now is to just quickly stash my changes. And open the old model and make a screenshot of this, because there's quite a bunch of functionality that we kind of need to reconstruct.
Do you want me to, one of us might be able to save you flicking branches and waiting for GDK to.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if you can just.
Is that helpful? Yeah, let me hop on my GDK quickly, and I hope I can send you a screenshot a bit quick. I hope.
Yeah.
So do you just want a screenshot of the delete modal?
Already got the screenshot, no worries about this, but it would still be great if you can just keep it open on whatever branch if there are more questions coming up on this.
Okay, yeah.
Sweet. So I'd probably first of all start to recreate this kind of conform functionality We have like zero clues how to do this. And yeah, we're having block user and delete user buttons, which are, yeah, active or inactive depending on the state of the confirmation. And I'm super surprised that our model seems to be doing just that when I git stash just based on this information. So I have to admit I'm a little lost when it comes to the confirmation field.
So do we think it's using these deletion obstacles? Is that what's?
Oh yeah, that's a good thought. What do the buttons look like when they're active? We might want to take a screenshot of that too, just so we get the.
Yeah. That's how they're going to look like.
But I think Lee's onto something. I think the delete obstacles is probably our ticket.
The delete obstacles. Okay, so we would basically just pass, like, this is still a model attributes. So let's pass it in once more, and hopefully it does just the right thing for us.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's not going to be data anymore. It's going to be user deletion obstacles, and we don't have to stringify anything. So how do we? Yeah, that's bullshit.
That's it. You know what you're doing.
Okay, not quite in there. What's going to be our next step? Is it really to debug the model, or anything that we can do prior to that?
I didn't. There's a bit of lag in there. What happened when you tested that one?
Absolutely nothing, basically.
Gotcha. So it's not really the right type of modal because it's not giving you any kind of prompt or.
Yeah, it seems currently it just seems like it's ignoring this line.
Yeah, how did this delete modal get activated was activated originally?
It's basically what we're seeing here. It had like the rebind attribution, and that's what it used. Or is there anything else you'd be keen on seeing?
Well, where did modal attributes end up? Like, was this the same as last week, where it was like, oh right, and it was, yeah, okay, never mind. I wonder if this modal is not the right modal. Like, we're not opening the right modal then.
Oh yeah, did we pass a variant? Do we need to change that?
Let me just check one more thing. Okay, but there's something in there. So that's no idea what is in there, but it's something. So that should be all right. A variant.
Yeah, I think I saw something a minute ago. I may have missed.
That's a great question, but it would still leave me hanging on why the previous solution didn't bother to pass in one. But if it works, fine.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether there was more of a destructive variant, but I don't know.
Is there something like a delete confirmation modal as opposed to just a regular confirmation modal?
Where would I want to search for this?
I don't know.
Just having a look on GitLab UI docs quickly to see if there's any.
Yeah, this is actually another thing that, but I probably need to look into the eventHub. I'm a little confused because those files don't actually import the GitLab UI model. But are we doing this anywhere else? Should be called like. Okay, there we go. It's going to be in here. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So this is our actual model then, and it's got the DOM event element listener as a higher order component. Okay, sweet. So then let's check this out.
Yeah, I've just found something on the docs. There's a disabled, I think where are we?
I think there's just like there's another modal and we have to find it. And we have to, because I'm looking at admin/user/index.
Just to get this right, another model would actually be, so we'll not be speaking about a GitLab UI component, but one of those once more, right? Like not a confirm model, but a delete model whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
That would actually, and we probably would find another query selector in there, right? Potentially.
Yeah. So if you look for maybe like JS.
You know what? Let me just check what's like right next to it, because that's where I would put it. Okay, that's too many to just go through. But there's the lead label model. So we're definitely having more than one. But label does not. Yeah.
Maybe look at the entry point for the admin page or the admin users page. So
there's definitely GL modal does support, or at least there's an example on the docs.
Okay.
Let me send you a link if I can.
That's great to hear. What would be the quickest way to find the entry point? So you're basically looking for some index.js file, right? But the right one.
Yeah, so it's always the path to the page.
Okay, so admin/users index.js.
Yeah.
Today I learned that is I've been going on other routes for this. Awesome.
It actually kind of maps to, I was talking to Lee about this a little while ago, I think, right? Like it maps to the controller
root,
action behind the page.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Sweet. So that will be our entry point.
So we have this init delete user modals function, and it seems to be doing a lot.
Modal manager, selector, confirm delete button, selector. Wow, that's complex. Right, I've got to run, unfortunately, now, guys. Really interesting, and I'll catch up on the last bit in the video if you want to share the link once you get it up. And fingers crossed.
Absolutely, doing my best. So awesome. Thanks so much for joining.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
No worries. Cheers. Bye bye.
Okay. So yeah, every query for model text container selector, which is going to be
JS modal texts. What?
You know what kind of confuses me? Okay, well that must be a wrapper element of some kind, because it's only querying for one an ID.
Yeah,
but
let's search the project for that ID and see where it's hiding.
Container, that one is what we're looking for. Models.hammer.
Interesting.
But it looks kind of familiar, or at least
Mhm.
the text does.
I think maybe this this init delete user modals function is finding these DOM nodes and turning them into modals.
That would make sense. So if I don't get this wrong, the only thing for us to do would be to follow the path of this model creation and see where it falls.
I think so. I think so.
Sweet. So what's going on in this function? Basically, I'm just trying to find the very first component on this, so we can go down the ladder. This will be the element, method, and it will render the model manager. Where's this coming from? There we are.
Anything named manager is a little scary, I think.
Yeah, because it kind of says that there is stuff to manage, right?
Yeah.
So what are you seeing? I don't see it.
I see it's importing a delete user modal.
Should we just skip to that?
I think so.
Never mind the manager.
It kind of looks like this modal manager is very similar to the modal manager that we took care
Refactored?
of last week.
Well, maybe because this kind of thing, which looks super familiar.
Yeah, exactly.
And a comment which says to do replace this with integrated model components. I'm not quite sure what integrated would mean. But yeah, it's funny. It seems like the exact same problem we've been looking at last week, but this one has a comment on, whereas the other one didn't. But yeah, okay. And yeah,
oh yeah.
This looks like a jackpot.
Yep, I see some input boxes.
Yeah, I see different stuff, definitely. So, and going by the file name, I'm pretty sure that this is what we're actually looking for.
Yeah, yeah,
and
absolutely.
Like this does seem very familiar.
Yeah.
With what we saw in the shared component. Awesome. So let me get up our eventHub, like the confirm model, and see how far we have to tweak this. But since they're so similar, I'm really hoping for not too many tweaks. How do you feel? It looks like a copy and paste job to me at this point, and we have to include another delete user model eventHub.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well, because this delete user modal, right, does a lot of extra things.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'd go with a separate one for sure.
Yeah.
So let's create that. Let me close all the tabs we don't need anymore.
Maybe we can rework this. Wait, no, because this confirm modal is used on like many pages, right? Not just to the admin page.
I assume it is, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that is that would explain why we have a couple of aspects failing in the pipeline.
Yeah. Okay. Then yes,
So,
yeah, we should probably spin up a new event hub for the delete users.
So let's just go there. How do we want to call it? It's not going to be confirm model. It's going to be delete user model event.js. So create event hub won't change. Export default won't. Pretty much for the exact same events, right? It's just a model, and the closing of it will be handled automatically. So that should be okay. It will close itself very politely. Sweet. What is our next step? Is it? Yeah, it's gonna be the model file, isn't it? Yep. Okay. So where's the mounted method in here? Let's start with. There is no. Joking.
We will have to add one.
But okay, just to make sure I'm looking at the right thing here, but this seems to be it. Delete user model. Okay, then let's add one. Any concerns?
Not yet.
Okay. Sweet. So we're gonna fire the exact same event, but we will need to import this from delete user model eventHub. Oh, what up? Why not?
I think it's up a directory.
Might be.
Oh no, it's actually in a totally different place, isn't it? This is admin users components and not. Yeah, we should probably move move it out of view shared. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just where are we gonna move it to? Just right next to delete user model, right?
I was muted that whole time.
But was that just agreement or anything else?
I think we should move let's move the event hub to out of view shared and into admin users.
Gotcha.
How much of the admin page is in, or of this page is in view versus not in view?
Not so sure. Why are you asking? Or what's the?
Well, the delete user modal doesn't seem to be reused outside of the admin users page. So I'm wondering if we can utilize some more traditional view component methods to do this. But that kind of requires the whole page to be view.
Oh, I see. Okay. How would we find out?
Do you have the Vue DevTools installed?
Yep, absolutely.
So what I would do is just go to the View tab and see what pops up, see what gets highlighted.
Mm,
So that's promising. The second route.
this one?
Yeah, that looks like it covers the table at the very least.
But does this mean that the tabs and the filtering are not new?
Yeah. What happens if you click on another tab?
The page reloads, which is not quite single pagey, I'd say.
No, but is the table still in view? Because so if we have, my thoughts are, if we have an app, like a view app, kind of a top level view app that contains all these drop down buttons, what we can do is either we can use like a traditional kind of view event to show the modal, or we can use the GL modal directive or something. We just have to mount our shared modals as part of the table app. It looks like you have a little compilation error though, so it's blocking the reload.
Yeah, it seems like, okay, yeah, all of our tables are affected.
That's a good sign though. That means that the app is likely on covering every table.
That's correct. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Okay, yeah, and it's complaining about our broken import here. So where did we end on this? We've been speaking about moving a file. Unfortunately, moving files in VS Code is such a pain. So let's just create a new one and then delete the old. That'd be much easier. But where does it have to live? Delete.
Let's just put it right in this folder.
Yeah, right. This one, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. Delete user model. And we're gonna come on.
That's our new one.
Hey, where's my old eventHub gun?
I think you just closed it.
Great stuff. Still a new one?
Yeah. So
nah, let's just find it. There's one living in shared. Yep, that's the one I need. And I'm gonna delete the one in shared now. So much trash. So, okay, cool. Moved it. Let me just double check if it is in the right place. Perfect. And when it comes, well, yeah, import's working. Awesome. Let's get back to business. So, delete user model. Okay, we've been. Yep, we covered the mounted function, the destroyed function as well. So we're tidying up behind ourselves. Methods. We shouldn't really care about those, should we? So it's basically.
I think our mounted and destroyed need to pass in our different functions. Well, we still need all of these stuff, right? Like we still need this stuff for the modal to work. to display all the information we want it to.
Oh yeah, that actually does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but we don't have an open event function, an on-open event function. We do have a show method function though, so we could pass that into our event hub instead of on open event.
Okay, kind of multitasking, but what I understood was the this.show in here.
Got it.
Sweet. Okay. So this will then call this rev stuff models.show. Is that it?
Yeah.
Kind of sounds good, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So, but this delete model would still not be working because we didn't do the work on the shared functionality yet, right?
Correct.
So really, that's what I'm looking for. That is the path. So, okay. So we are having a brand new delete user model to the left and the consummation of it on the right.
So we need to import, I think we need to import the correct event hub now. Now that we have a new one.
That doesn't make a lot of sense. But it's not going to be coming from shared anymore. It is rather coming from this won't work out with it.
That's fine. I think we can trim a good chunk of this path though. It looks like
Yep.
It looks like they're both in the admin users components directory.
So this should be good enough, right?
Well, it looks like this one is in an actions shared. So I think we need to go up 2 folders to get to the modals folder.
And it stops complaining, so that's great.
Always a good sign.
Yep, absolutely. Should we run this?
Yeah, let's see what happens. I'm sure something will break. It'll be very exciting.
Hopefully not the whole table. Like you can't get any worse than that. Sweet, so the table's back. Ah, yeah, great. I know that state. So it kind of seems like that our event refiring is not being heard.
We
It's
can.
Just, but we are firing the event, right? Yeah. So on click, event hub, event open, and delete user model event hub, which is the same event hub as we're having in here.
Let's add a little log line in here in this modal to see if anything is, if show is getting called at all.
Yep. Nope. No show starting.
Interesting.
So we're losing it somewhere along the way. This might be stupid, but I just want to get the confirmation that we're looking at the correct component and this actually mounts.
Always a good test. I see no mounted sign.
Me neither.
Okay. What about the user modal manager?
Mm.
It's the next up in the chain.
Mm. This one doesn't
That one
mount.
mounts. Okay.
Yep.
What is it doing? If active modal. If active modal. What is active modal?
Current modal data.
Current modal data. Modal props. Where does current modal data get set? Ah, okay. So this is what is actually parsing all the data that gets sent via the button click. So what we could do
So those are
instead,
like those data attributes, right?
yeah. So what we could do is
Mhm.
move our event hub on and off to this component instead, I think.
Okay, so if I get this right, then we will probably just we would put it on here.
Yep.
And with the same mounted and destroyed functions. But we would remove this now, right? Just empty the mounted.
Yeah, I think it looks like it should be safe to move.
Remove.
Yeah.
Let's figure. Mounted, destroyed. Okay, anything? What about the show method? Well, we already have one. Yeah,
We
that
already
should.
have one.
Okay, that should be okay. Can I just undo the changes and delete user model?
Yep.
Pretty much, isn't it? Yeah. So, but okay, and we're not having a query selector in here, so it actually does make a lot more sense to do it in the manager. Let's see how far this will take us. Has no configuration in HTML.
Modal action. Well, at least that's an error that we're throwing.
Yeah, so somebody's hearing us, it seems, right?
Yeah, so we're now our event hub is working at least.
Yeah, that's great.
We just need to update what is being the data. We either need to update the data being passed into the event hub or the data being passed or the way it's being parsed, I think.
Like
So,
the way it's being passed would be that second parameter, right, on the event hub.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So we can actually, I think we can probably steal it from the modal attributes computed section.
That would be the manager. No.
And in our shared delete action here,
Mm-hmm.
we have this commented out computed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I bet that's what we need to be sending along.
Okay, sweet, but that would be it, right? I would first of all get rid of all of those.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, empty object.
Okay.
But we can live with this, can we? We definitely have to remove those.
Yeah,
And
we
those
probably
are
have to.
camel cases.
Yeah.
But stringified is okay, right? Yeah, there's no other
For
option
now.
really. Yeah.
To make sure it works.
Okay, pretty fire. Did the unstringification, but that should be all right.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Okay, so the delete is already working.
Oh, but because we camel case to delete with contributions, it's not finding the snake case version, or not snake case, kebab case. We got a kebab case delete with contributions again.
Good job remembering this change. Where is my computer over the entity weekend? It seems like. Come on. No good UI today.
The computer struggling. I bet we can find it in the VS Code Git section. Oh, here we go. It's awake now. Yeah, so I think if you just undo the changes to delete with contributions.view.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sweet, we'll try. I have to drop off in about 10 minutes just to have that set. So let's see how far we can take it. This is good.
I have good faith. I have good faith.
Pretty awesome. That's fantastic, Andre.
We did it.
Sweet. So what would be the next? This is looking fine. Well, let's see if the aspects are still failing. Like that, that's something we want to let the CI see. But I have good hopes that this will actually fix a lot of the things going on over there.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool. That was a lot of fun.
And it's good timing too, because I gotta go as well.
Awesome. And you know what? I will clean this up just a little. Like, it's not that there is much to do on this.
Yep.
But is there anything else you'll be like, okay, well, we still have to XYZ?
I think the only thing that I saw that stood out was that there's one of the data points is getting stringified and then unstringified, and we don't need to do that anymore. But
let me quickly check that. Where would that be? The data points?
The user deletion obstacles in the shared delete action.
This one, right?
Yeah, and then on the other side, actually I think I saw it in delete. In the actual delete user modal, it gets unstringified. Yeah, there's the parse.
Sweet. Awesome. All clean JSONs, just sending over the way.
That's right.
Perfect. Awesome. Another really successful session, I'd say. Sweet.
Very good.
Yeah, make sure to tune in next week when the show is back once again. No, we'll see. Let's hope for a green pipeline, and we should be good here.
Yep. Have a good weekend.
Likewise. See you soon.
See ya.